Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll see some of the topics related to compiler design like lexical errors, input buffering, sentinels and syntax error handling. First we'll see what are lexical errors. Here finding the source code error without the aid of other components is hard for the lexical analyzer. If the string fi is encountered for the first time in a C program in the context, fi of a double equal to f of x. Here it is supposed to be if statement, if a double equal to f of x, but the programmer has misspelled it as fi. But the lexical analyzer cannot tell whether fi is a misspelling of the keyword or an undeclared function identifier, because it can also be a function. Since fi is a valid lexeme for the token ID, the lexical analyzer must return the token ID to the parser and let some other phase of the compiler to handle the error. Here in this case, the parser has to handle the error. It is due to the transposition of the letters. The simplest error recovery strategy is panic mode recovery. Here we delete successive characters from the remaining input until the lexical analyzer can find a well-formed token at the beginning of what input is left. This technique may confuse the parser. So because when we keep on deleting the characters, the parser cannot identify what is going on and what is the error and all. So it becomes confused. So other possible error recovery actions are, we have 4 different types, like delete, which deletes one character from the remaining input. The second one is insert, inserting a missing character into the remaining input. And third one is replacing a character by another character. And fourth one is transpose two adjacent characters. So these are the different types of other error recovery actions. Now we'll talk about input buffering. Here there are many situations where we need to look at one additional character, at least one additional character ahead. For instance, we cannot be sure we have seen the end of an identifier until we see a character that is not a letter or digit. Therefore, it is not a part of the lexeme for ID. In C, single character operators like minus, equal to or less than could also be the beginning of a 2 character operator like arrow, double equal to or less than or equal to. Thus we introduce a 2 buffer scheme that handles large look-aheads safely. So here the purpose of input buffering is to find the character ahead so that we can identify the end of the input. That is the main purpose. So we then consider an improvement involving sentinels that saves time checking for the ends of buffers. Now we'll see buffer pairs. So here, because of the amount of time taken to process characters and the large number of characters that must be processed during the compilation of a large source program, specialized buffering techniques have been developed to reduce the amount of overhead required to process a single input character. An important scheme involves 2 buffers that are alternatively reloaded as shown. So here we can see how the buffer looks like. We have an equation like E is equal to mc square, which is written in the buffer like E space equal to space then m star c star star 2. Star star 2 is for exponentiation. Then we have EOF. So here we have two pointers, lexeme begin and forward. We'll see what are those later. Each buffer, as told earlier, we have two different buffers. Each buffer is of the same size n, and n is usually the size of a disk block of 4096 bytes. Using one system read command, we can read n characters into a buffer rather than using one system call per character. So we can read n characters into a buffer instead of reading one character, because we need for each and every character the system call. So that is avoided here. If fewer than n characters remain in the input files, then a special character represented by EOF marks the end of the source file. So EOF is nothing but end of file marker. And it is different from any possible character of the source program. Now we'll see the two different pointers. Lexeme begin, the first pointer, which marks the beginning of the current lexeme, whose extent we are attempting to determine. And the second one is pointer forward, scans ahead until a pattern match is found. So already we know what exactly is lexeme. Lexeme is nothing but a group of characters which can be called as token. So here the pointer lexeme begin will point to the token, the beginning of the token, that is each and every character, and keeps on moving. And the other pointer forward scans ahead, because we need to know where exactly the input is going to end. So this forward is used for that purpose. Now we'll see what are sentinels. The sentinel is a special character that cannot be part of the source program, and a natural choice is the character EOF. So EOF is nothing but end of file. So figure below shows the same arrangements as earlier. That is, earlier figure we have seen, it is similar to that, but with the sentinels added. Here we are going to add the sentinels. Note that EOF retains its use as a marker for the end of the entire input. So this shows the two buffers, and here up to here it is buffer 1, from here to here it is buffer 1, from here to here is buffer 2. So when the buffer 2 is completed, when we come to the end of the buffer 1, it loads the second buffer, the remaining input, and once we come to the end of the input, EOF is put here, and this EOF indicates the end of the buffer. So here also you can see EOF is nothing but the end of the buffer 1, and here it is end of buffer 2. So here we can see there two different pointers, lexeme begin and forward. So this figure shows the sentinels at the end of each buffer. So more explanation is given here with respect to sentinels. Any EOF that appears other than at the end of a buffer means that the input is at an end. The below algorithm summarizes for advancing forward. Here we notice how the first test, that is part of multi-way branch, is the only test we make except in the case where we actually are at the end of a buffer or at the end of input. So here is the algorithm. We have switch statement star forward plus plus. So it is a pointer. Then open flower brackets. It is a case statement, case EOF. When EOF is encountered, if forward is at the end of first buffer, then reload second buffer. If we come to the end of the first buffer, we have to reload the second buffer. Then forward is equal to beginning of second buffer. So forward we are pointing to the beginning of the second buffer. Else if forward is at the end of second buffer, then reload first buffer, because we have two different buffers. So that's why it is first buffer and second buffer. Then forward is equal to beginning of first buffer. Else EOF within a buffer marks the end of input. So before the end of the buffer, if we reach EOF, that indicates the end of the input itself. Now in the else case, terminate lexical analysis, break and cases for other characters. So this is the look ahead code with sentinels. Now we'll see the syntax error handling. That is how the syntax errors are handled. Already we know that the errors are most common, but in only few languages it has been developed to come out of the errors. That is, error handling is done only in few languages. The common programming errors can occur at many different levels. So here we have the first one is lexical errors. These include misspellings of identifiers or keywords or operators and missing quotes around the text intended as a string. So sometimes we are going to miss the double quotes for the string. Sometimes the keywords are misspelled. Sometimes we miss the operators. All these are lexical errors. Then we have syntactic errors. That is, whenever we have some syntax errors like misplacing the semicolon or extra or missing braces, case statement without enclosing switch are the examples for syntactic errors. Then semantic errors. These include type mismatches between operators and operands. For example, we have a return statement in Java with result type void. So in that case, it will throw an error message. And finally, we have logical errors. These can be anything from incorrect reasoning on the part of the programmer. The programmer himself is going to make some mistakes to the use in a C program of the assignment operator equal to instead of comparison operator double equal to. So that is, in case of if statement, we must be having double equal to. If we put only single equal to, always it becomes true. The if statement always becomes true. So that should be avoided. That becomes the logical error which cannot be identified by the lexical analyzer. So whatever topics we discussed today are all important. Please like and share and subscribe without forgetting, because in the subsequent videos I will be putting more and more topics related to compiler design, and also I will be solving the problems with respect to compiler design, the different modules. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.